Excellent. Well, Johnny, thank you very much for taking my call today. I have many questions for you, starting obviously to know more about your upcoming album, Conflict DLC, uh,
Uh-huh.
because yeah, I want to know many things about it. And the first thing that obviously I want to know is about the title. Where did it come from?
So we love the idea of like originally the idea was planned as a double album, and then we were gonna make it an EP, and then we kind of went back to this double album idea, but we wrote all new material. So it's its own standalone album. But DLC, it's like Shadow of the Erd Tree, it's like video game expansion pack, and then also kind of a play on like the world, the state of the world. So Conflict DLC, it's like an expansion pack of bad things.
Yeah, you're totally right with everything that's going on in the world. It's impossible not to think about these ideas of chaos and conflict.
Hmm.
And I love it how you put it on the video game terminology.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we love the title, and yeah, it's sort of what we're doing. It's like Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's like it's the same sound, but we're adding more weapon types, more maps, new play styles. Maybe we add multiplayer, whatever. It's like expansion of the sound.
And while listening to some of the new songs that you have already released,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it totally feels like you're on the same line as Rat Wars, and I do
Hmm.
want to talk about a couple of them. The first one being Ordinary Loss. The
Hmm.
first thing that I do want to know, the second part of that song is really, really heavy. It's gotta be one of the heavier pieces you have ever done. Can you
Hmm.
tell me more about it?
So part of, we are playing so much of the record was written in response to us playing all these metal festivals and being sandwiched in between these extreme bands. And so we're like, all right, we need some more firepower. But also, other bands, metalcore, they're like, why don't you guys have breakdowns? They're like, you guys are so good. Why don't you have breakdowns? I'm like, I never really thought of that. I'm like, all right, let's see how do we have a breakdown? We could go a little slower at this part. Let's give it a shot. Oh, here's Jake.
And Johnny, before moving to some other stuff, you
Uh-huh.
mentioned, yes, how many times you have been put on these metal festivals, but how do you feel to be with those kind of bands? Is it have been awkward at some parts because of the bands, or how is the overall experience for you?
We feel pretty accepted, and we really wanted to be there. We were trying to break into the metal scene, so I'm very happy about it. Obviously, we are kind of sometimes the odd man out, but everyone has been extremely welcoming to us.
We're
There's been,
we're
there's,
we're not sometimes the odd man out. We're
yeah, yeah,
always.
the odd man out. But you know what? When we were in the indie rock scene or whatever pitchfork, we've never not been the odd man out our whole life. So we've never not been the
I don't
strange guy at
know.
the party.
I don't know if you guys have this saying in Spanish, but the way I always describe us at a festival is always a bridesmaid, never a bride, which is like it's like we never are like the man of the hour. It's not we don't quite fit, which is fine. But yeah, exactly as John said. When we played indie rock festivals, it's everybody is like a crazy skinny guy with like a jangly vintage guitar and Ray-Bans on. And then we would play, and it's kind of like, why are these guys making noise music? And then now when we play metal festivals, it's like, why is that guy singing like a girl? And how come he's not yelling at me and saying fuck a lot in between the songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually remember the first time that I saw you live was at a festival in Guadalajara uh,
Mm,
before Cherry Glazer and Jenny Lewis, so it
yep.
was pretty strange combination.
Yeah. So
I
that's
would,
fine. And we've moved from those festivals. Now we do Not Fest, Australia and Grass Pop Metal Meeting. We just announced today we're going to be playing Alcatraz in Belgium. Like these are metal festivals.
so for some reason, the metal festivals in Europe work the best for us as
Hmm.
far as, or like more than in the United States. I think that like maybe the metal community in Europe and maybe Australia is just like a little bit more diverse and open-minded.
Which is funny because they're considered to be the more dogmatic, but I think the U.S. market is really based around some really antiquated stuff like terrestrial radio and
Totally.
old guard. Wait, because metal used to be mainstream in America extremely long time ago, like over 20 years ago, but it was, and there's still vestigial remains of that infrastructure.
Do you think it will ever be mainstream again in North America?
I don't know
It,
if there
it
it is. I don't know if mainstream exists anymore, but I'll tell you this shit is fucking big.
I would say at this stage you could regard, yeah, I don't know if mainstream exists beyond um bi- artists that were mainstream, quote unquote, before the full on internet age. So like Taylor Swift, or I mean, I guess you could say there's still pop stars that are made by the internet.
There
Like
are, like Sabrina Carpenter is
Billie
mainstream, but like,
Eilish,
yeah,
Chappell Roan is now mainstream,
yeah, yeah.
basically. But as far as metal, Sleep Token is like knocking on the door of that.
Well,
Oh,
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
yeah.
Okay, back then, like, okay, this band's mainstream. How big would the show would they play? These bands are playing shows bigger than the biggest band in the days where there was MTV, just because the way the business works now. So I don't know. There is no more mainstream culture anymore. There's no more monoculture. But in terms of how big a band can get, you can get as bigger or just as big. Maybe you're not as culturally relevant, but man, you can sell out the fucking multiple nights at the Forum. That's crazy, you know?
Well, it's like you're having this weird inverse relationship of music where, yeah, there isn't a dominant gate kept thing. Like there's three channels of TV, and there's the radio, and there's MTV and Rolling Stone. And if you're one of those bands that hits the lottery to be in that pathway, then everybody knows who you are.
Mhm.
But the way live music worked then was so different. Whereas now you could be a band that sells 30,000 tickets in 2 days in one city, and most people have never fucking heard of you. It's just like, that's very strange. Before, even if you didn't like Nirvana, you knew who Nirvana was because there was only like a few places to learn about it.
Yeah.
And now there's just these explosive, and I think a lot of that also is dominated by, I'm kind of just riffing here, but I was thinking about this earlier, is where you're seeing, because of the economy, I don't know how exactly it's working in Mexico, but in the United States and in Europe, everything is kind of going to dog shit, and inflation is so bad. People are being more careful with their money. And so they're
Mm.
they're not maybe spending it as frivolously on going out to see a show. But the people that aren't doing that, because they never care about their money, are young people. And young people really want to have these real life experiences. They want to go to shows
Yeah.
because everything else in life is just this shit on their phone. So they're just like, I'm going to this show. It's like Sleep Token puts on a tour. It's like 20,000 tickets in every city, and it just sells out immediately because it's a culture that people can actually be excited about because it's new.
Also, yeah, people want to be part of
Yeah.
something. People love success, but I'll tell you one thing: it is really awesome when a band is exploding and you're there before, and you get to go along with it, like you're part of the story, part of the ride. I love that when bands I follow. Obviously, none of them got as big as Sleep Token, but I still got to enjoy that ride. You know?
I actually share your opinion, Jake. I totally agree with what you just mentioned. Yeah, here in Mexico, the economics are going on the same way, but the younger generations are not taking any responsibility for it. And yeah, they're spending all their money on shows that maybe they don't care, maybe they don't know about the bands, as you previously mentioned, but they want to be part of an experience because if you're missing the experience, well, you're not there, you're not living the moment. One of the most important terms that I like from this internet era is FOMO, fear of missing out. I think we live on a FOMO society.
Totally. But then at the same time, that behavior model is so representative of young people because when you're young, even though you have your whole life ahead of you, it's hard to think beyond the moment. It's the same reason why you're more likely to die between age 15 and age 30 just from being stupid and reckless
Mm.
because you feel like you don't need to plan for the future. You just need to experience things. And that model still, nobody's like, I don't know, inflation's pretty bad, and you know, our president's fucking insane. Maybe I should stay home. They're not like that at all. They're just like, I need to go out and do something.
Or maybe just rationally, it's like, let me get my fucking kicks in before the
Dude,
shit house goes up in flames.
I
Yeah.
actually,
Ah,
I
yeah.
actually think that that's true though. Right now, is that there is some wisdom in that. It makes sense to be guarded, but at the same time, like looking at our country with what's happening, where it's very probable it's already gone way farther than most people want to even acknowledge in terms of us
Mm.
living in a fascist state where you're like, oh, I'm going to save my money. It's like, maybe you should fucking get your kicks now while there's still a free society and you're not trying to fucking escape with just the clothes you have in a backpack, or you're not like seeing someone get ripped out of the arms of their family by dudes in masks. Maybe the appropriate response is to be like, I'm going to go to a show and blow my money and get fucked up because there's not a future to plan for. There's just like now. So I don't know. Like, I mean,
And also,
obviously,
and you know what? You know what? That's always been? It's fucking rock and roll, man.
exactly.
Fucking experience that life, buddy.
Totally. Let me tell you guys, if you ever had some spare time, you should totally make a podcast about all these opinions you have.
Fuck, dude. I think that anyone who makes a new podcast should get this shit kicked out of them. Probably.
Well, it's as much as the idea amuses me, it's so saturated.
Yeah,
it'd be so hard to break through. It's just like now we just be like another one. But yeah,
dude, I tried to start a podcast like 5 or 6 years ago, and I had a good idea for it, and it like got stolen, and so that was like, and that already even then felt like, you know, it's like now being like, I'm gonna start a goth band. It's like, really? You're gonna start a goth band now? There's enough. We don't need any more. No, I mean, I like talking about this kind of stuff, but it just feels like, man, it's like another streaming service or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the year or two, maybe some implode. We'll have to see, because obviously podcasting or stuff like this is clearly not going away. People really like this constant stream of low, entertainment kind of thing.
Yeah, it just feels like it's another, it's like Tubi, Hulu, Fubu, like we're gonna start Poo Poo, and it's like another streaming service of just.
Well, no, they're trying to do one where it's 100% AI and it's just generated all day.
Yeah,
it's just
totally.
like,
endlessly generated AI dog shit just for people who are like barely sentient. Like, oh, look at that! Look at that! It's a dog on a beach ball, or what? I don't know.
That's what. Yeah, that's. I said it probably would be the whole. It'd just be constant clips of just weird shit like that. It's like, oh.
Just like fake America's Funniest Home Videos.
Basically.
That
dog is huge.
The thing that kills me about that dog shit is that, like, I personally, and I've talked to John about this a lot, is like my brain rot that I love on the internet as far as just turn off thinking. And I grew up skateboarding, and I love jackass like fail videos, just people, ring cam compilation of guy trying to deliver an Amazon package, and he like steps in a flower pot and then falls off the back of the porch or some shit. That just kills me. And now AI has just completely fucking ruined it for me. Because you can't tell. I mean, you can still kind of tell, but in like 3 weeks, you're not going to be able to tell because the models are updating so fast. And it's like, talk about something that is not fucking interesting. Is someone slipping on a banana peel or something, or falling off a ladder? It's funny because there's a human story behind that where that actually happened to someone, and you in your mind are playing out, dude, someone had to be filming this at the same time as someone having this crazy accident or whatever. And if you just make that AI, it's literally utterly useless. Like, I have no, if it's AI, it's like, then it's like a cartoon essentially. And imagine The Simpsons or something, like the great era of The Simpsons, if there was no narrative, if it was just like the gaffe of Homer falling or something, but you didn't have a character and you didn't have a story, you couldn't care. So it's like a reverse version of that, where it's like, oh, this is like what would happen to a real person, but it's not a real person. You're like, oh, okay, well then fuck off.
Yeah, just a random loop of sequences that goes to nowhere. It's pretty scary if you think about it.
Yeah, it's very scary to think about. I mean, I don't know. Part of me is hopeful, at least in that you could see there'll be some number one music hit that's made by AI, but it'll just be trash, and it'll be for people who don't really care about music.
It'll be unintentionally hilarious, like the lyrics don't make sense and it's really funny.
Yeah, almost like a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen, but the AI music is pretty impressive. But like, it's never, the answer's never been more music. There's 100,000 songs a day on Spotify. No one's like, God, I wish we had more music.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dog shit bands endlessly that are basically like the equivalent of AI music.
Yeah.
It's like
Which
a
ones?
human. It's like a what do they call? It's like a human robot of just like trying to make a song, and the song sucks. It's just like we don't need more of that.
Which ones
I
comes to your mind?
Which bands? Fuck, it's just
Yeah.
like the untold millions, man. It's like it's hard to start a band. It's hard to write a. It's like how many friends have you had who's like, here, check out my new band, and you're like, you listen to it and you're thinking, fuck, this is technically music, but it's just it's a hard thing to do, you know?
Yeah. Now, granted, the AI generated song is gonna be insane. It's super competent. You could put it out with your name on it. But actually, fucking Varg Vikernes from Burzum started an AI side project.
I feel like if you are just putting out an AI song fully generated with your name on it, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
people are mostly doing it to flood the internet with slop to get the clicks. You know, there's huge amounts of YouTube channels that are AI generated stuff about things people are interested, like history, and you put them on, and if you listen for long enough, you'll just start hearing those same random things repeated over and over. It starts getting nonsensical, and like it's just AI generated slop.
I think that it's
Yeah.
just like, and John and I have discussed this a lot, where it's this like infiltration of this spectrumy tech overlord thing where people who don't understand or don't care what people who have feelings actually want in their lives, and they've done such a good job at fucking our brains up in the first place, that they're just like, oh, like it's very difficult and time consuming and resource derivative to make music the old fashioned way. It's like, why don't we just generate it with AI, and we can do the same thing with visual entertainment, and that will be much easier, and you could have more to listen to and to enjoy. And it's kind of like, oh, you're a fucking psycho who doesn't understand how people actually feel about things.
Yeah.
So it seems like a good idea, but it's like
Totally,
only, yeah,
totally soulless.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny,
And,
AI and all this stuff has made me way more I guess I don't want to say spiritual, but like there is soul, if you want to call it soul, whatever you want to call it, but just like intention in art means like everything, no matter how stupid or weirder it is. And I didn't know. I was always so skeptical of things like that. But then you see this AI, and you're like, shit, maybe that shit's just real. Like
yeah, dude, well, it's just like how like a cat or dogs, like they don't react to mirrors because they can't smell the other cat. Like
yeah,
they're just like that's not a cat.
yeah. Because why would it doesn't matter? Yeah, it's like how could it be?
Yeah, it's just like so. It's like the same thing. It's like oh, check out this funny ass fail thing. It's like that's AI. It's like yeah, I feel nothing. I don't give a fucking shit.
Actually,
I like,
yeah.
or it's like that scene in The Matrix, where Tank, the guy on the ship, and he's like, oh, you don't have any holes, and he's like, oh yeah, me and my brother, born 100% pure in the heart of Zion, or whatever the fucking shit is.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoy this conversation. I love sharing this kind of themes with some other
Sorry,
guys.
I came on and just like we didn't even talk about the band or music. We just
Oh
like
no,
talked about.
no, we had some music questions early, Jake.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
we had some music questions, but I do believe these are the most valuable. I just want to thank you, and I hope to see you on your next visit to Mexico with Perseverance.